we having fun. Yeah, we say it like it is, ain't no holding our tongue. Go get us on the team, yeah, we getting it done. And shout out to Travell, yo, you number one. It started with a dream that turned into a vision. To educate new generations is our mission. Ears to the streets, yeah, we steady politicking. If it ain't about the change, mind your business.
Now wait again, minute. Wave your hands with it. Wait again, minute. Wave your hands with it. Now wait again, minute. Wave your hands with it. We top picks like we all up on the gram with it. Now wait again, minute. Wave your hands with it. Now wait again, minute. Wave your hands with it. Now wait again, minute. Wave your hands with it. We top picks like we all up on the gram with it.
Welcome to another episode of Wait Again Minute podcast. Today we have another special guest. As I always say, we do most every Thursday. But today we have a special guest, and it's in regards to Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which we all know is October. In case you all don't know, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So with that being said, we have a special guest by the name of Ebony Lowther. Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm here, so I'm good.
I know that's right.
I'm good. Yes. Miss Go Getter, so how are you?
I'm good as well.
And that's it?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm good.
Well,
how are you?
Good.
Okay.
Didn't you just hear me just tell Ebony I was good?
I did. I just want to make sure I say it again because, you know, you always feel left out.
I do. I guess because I'm getting old, I feel like I need some reassurance or whatever. I don't know. But
reassurance on someone want to know how you doing?
Yeah. Just,
okay.
You know, I don't know. But either way. So I did a little quick I did a quick research on breast cancer awareness. And I was actually shocked because they say in 2022, 43,250 women are expected to pass from breast cancer awareness. From breast cancer.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my gracious. Mm-hmm. But I know in 2020, they said over 660 some people died from breast cancer.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And it was like 530 men are expecting to leave here as well from the same disease. So it let us know that it's very prevalent.
It is.
And especially in the African American community,
because
I think they were saying it was like 43% more than other nationalities, you know, so that's kind of wild.
Yeah, and a lot of those numbers are starting to be with young people. It's not a lot of older people. It's a lot of young people you see with it now. I think when I went into the office, the youngest person I saw was 16.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. And then my doctor, her assistant, she was 25 when she was diagnosed. And so it's getting younger and younger.
It is. So before we get into it, please introduce yourself to our viewers and listeners of Wait Again Minute podcast.
Well, I'm Ebony Lowther. I'm from Suffolk, Virginia. I am married. I have 4 children. And I just enjoy helping people. And I'm just glad to be here on today to be a part of the podcast.
Absolutely. And we're actually glad to have you.
Right.
And being that, you know, I've been watching you for a while. And then let me tell you something. I have to admit, when your husband, he did a little clip after you spoke Saturday at an event, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, he's right. I said, but of course he knows you.
Right.
You know, he's your husband. But I said, he's right. Like she is, you know, like sometimes people, you know, they are good with playing the background. Mm-hmm. But I believe that sometimes we do that because we just shy and we just don't want to be seen, you know. Mm-hmm. But some of us, sometimes we're kind of forced to the front. And I think that's what it is with you.
It is. Because I was always the person, I'm good in the background. You know, just leave me back here. I do the background work and, you know, y'all go ahead and handle that front.
Yeah.
But when this came along, I think that was God's way of saying, I got to push you out your comfort zone. You know, right. I don't believe God take us through things for us to stay in a place of the background. Sometimes you got to come and speak and share your testimony with others to help them overcome. That's true. So I think he done pushed me to the forefront a little bit. Yeah.
So tell us a little information, like a little background on how you were diagnosed and, you know, all around that, what took place.
Okay. Well, I was diagnosed in January of 2021 through a routine screening. I went in for a mammogram and I started getting my mammograms at the age of 35 due to my family history of breast cancer.
Okay.
I have a very, very high family history on my father's side of breast cancer.
Okay.
My grandmother, she passed from it. My grandmother's sisters passed from it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, my cousin, first cousin, she was 33.
Mm-hmm.
She passed from it. And my sister, at the age of 37, she passed from it. But I had one survivor who had it, was my aunt.
Okay.
And so I was being proactive. And so I started going getting my mammogram done at 35. And so I went in for screening. And I got a call back saying that my mammogram looked abnormal, which I really thought it was nothing because I had lost so much weight. So I really thought that, you know, breast tissue kind of changed.
Mm-hmm.
But by them calling so late, I pretty much knew that it was important. And so once I went in, they told me that I had 3 spots. They said 2 spots looked at cancerous. And so once they did the biopsy and all that stuff, it came back that I had bilateral breast cancer, which most of the time you see bilateral breast cancer is because it's hereditary. When you see it in younger people, you know, most of the time you may see it in older people, but when it's young, it means you 9 times 10 got it through a gene. And so I'm a gene carrier of it's called the BRCA1 gene, meaning that it came from my family, you know, hereditary. Okay. And so bilateral breast cancer mean I had cancer in both breasts. So that's how I was diagnosed.
Right. So when that doctor told you that, like, what was your state of mind at that time?
Well, all I could think about, and I'm not even gonna lie, was death. Yeah. Because that's really all I had ever seen from my family line outside of my aunt. I had one survive my aunt. And my sister, it wasn't even 2 years prior to losing her. Right. So I just thought, like, Lord, you know, 1 lump is bad, but I have 2, you know. So I thought about my kids first and foremost and my parents. But I thought I was going to make it through it. Yeah. And both of my cancers were highly aggressive cancers. And so, you know, their prognosis where they already thought was up into my lymph nodes and had, you know, it kind of went up. And so they gave me this plan of all this chemo. They were saying I would need 16 rounds of chemo.
That's a lot.
To start off with. They still wanted to give me more. They said that I would need 30 to 60 days of radiation. And then once they remove my spots, that they'll contemplate on giving me more. And so every time I went into the office, it wasn't anything that I wanted to hear, you know, with cancer. You know, they don't talk really good in the office, you know, so you got to have your faith built up when you going in the office and they talking about cancer because they look at cancer, the thing we're in. For one, it's hard to treat. Okay. And for 2, the issue of it may return, you know. So that was my treatment plan.
Wow. That's, you know, I can't imagine, you know, how you may have felt, but I can, you know, when you said that, especially being that your family suffers from, and then your sister. So I'm sure a lot was going through your head, but what kept you pushing? Like what kept you? Because I want to say, I know I'm thinking mentally it had to be a major impact, like dealing with it daily. So my question to you is, 1, how did you deal with it as far as your mental?
In the beginning, my mental was tore down. I had lost so much weight before I even started my treatments. I had lost maybe about 40 pounds.
Just stressing?
Stress, literally. Wow. And when I went into the doctor's office, I walked past the mirror and I had lost so much weight. And I was like, Lord, the stress of it all is going to kill me before the cancer did, you know. And I really had to get to a place, even my husband, you know, he was a vital part. He was encouraging me every day because I would just go home and I would cry, looking at my kids. And then also because I told no one knew.
Now how, okay, yeah, how did you pull that one
No
off?
one knew.
Yeah.
I just decided when I went into the office and they said cancer, I knew that it would be hard for me to fight this battle with looking in the faces of my loved ones not too long ago losing my sister. I couldn't take that burden on top of fighting it too. I couldn't do it.
Feeling like you would see the sadness in their face and stuff.
Right. And so I told nobody but my husband and my mom and my dad knew because they knew I was going to get a mammogram. So they was like, well, what went on with the mammogram? But other than that, my kids didn't know. My nobody knew outside of that in my church family. Some of them knew.
Right.
But
so when you now looking back at it, would you still have made that same decision today as you did?
I would.
Yeah.
I would.
So let me ask you this: so at any point when you started your treatments or having surgery, no one was like kind of like asking you like, what you having surgery for, or why you changing or losing weight?
But see, this was during the pandemic, so I was home. I wasn't really around anyone.
Yeah.
And so once they saw me, of course they was like, "Ooh, you lost a lot of weight." I was getting that, but I was losing weight anyway before. Right. So, but my kids, my daughter, she was like, "Mommy, I could put my whole arm around you. Lost so much weight," and I'm like, "Yeah, Yeah. But I couldn't put that burden on them. I would have told them if it had gotten to a point when I had no choice but to say something.
Okay.
But going through the treatments and stuff like that, I couldn't. For me, for my peace of mind, I couldn't put it out there.
Right.
And so, going on to the treatments, the doctors were telling me all this different types of stuff that I had to do, and I was discouraged. I was really, really discouraged. But I had to get to a place where I really had to trust God. Sometimes we put cancer, the word, we can go to the doctor's offices. As long as you don't say the word cancer, I'm good. You can tell me anything else, but don't tell me it's cancer.
Oh, yeah.
And we put that word above God. And I had to get to a place where cancer is not above God. God is able to do this. That's why I had to continue to tell myself, God, he's a healer. And so I began to speak life over myself every day. Every day. I had to put the sermon. I would listen to sermons in my ear all day while I was walking, whatever I was doing. Whenever doubt came in my mind, I would put something in my ear that would give me affirmations on what God could do.
Right.
And so I did do a video. God had me to do a video encouraging myself. I think I put it on Facebook. Yeah. Just speaking life over myself, that God was going to heal me and he would heal me miraculously, and I understood even through miraculous healing that it may have to take some medicine. So I won't, not easy to say I won't have to do chemo. So, I can do the chemo. And so when I went into the office, my doctor, he told me, they had did tests with my heart. Chemo is hard on the heart. It could turn your heart down. And so he was like, well, by you being so young, I don't want to really do nothing that's going to bring your heart down. So he said, I'm going to do something on you I never done with anybody else. And so I was like, you never done with nobody else. And he was like, I'm like, Lord, this ain't the time to be experiment with me.
I got 4 babies at home now.
And you talking about it's aggressive and all this stuff. He was like, I'm going to give you 4 rounds of this drug. He said, I never done it with anybody else. But he did a little research on it. He was like, China, Japan, it worked over there, so I'm assuming to work on you.
Oh,
I'm like, well,
help me, Lord.
Yes, I'm looking at my husband like, we got to go. This ain't even it. He like, no. He said, Ebony, you pray. We just gonna trust God. And so I was like, okay. And so, I went in and did my chemo. 2 rounds of it, because after the 2 rounds, they wanted to check to make sure that it was working on ultrasound. And so I did my chemo. And when I went back in for my ultrasound, the first ultrasound tech, she was looking at one breast and she said, Miss Lowther, I don't see no evidence of cancer being in this breast.
Wow.
And so she began to look at the other breast and she said, well, I see no evidence of cancer being in this breast either. And so she went on to go get my surgeon so she can come and look. My surgeon like, well, Ebony, I need to see something so I know what to remove when I go in and do your surgery.
Right.
And so she came and she was looking. She said, I see no evidence of cancer in either one of your breasts. And so she was like, we still have to give you your 2 rounds of chemo, though, the other 2 rounds, and we may still look into radiation, still being doctors,
right.
But I had already stepped in my mind that God had healed me.
That's right.
And when I went back, after I did my chemo, I went back to get everything removed and they tested it. And the doctor came in, she said, well, we found nothing in your lymph nodes, and we found no cancer left within the breast. It's like, even if it touched your lymph nodes, we'll see the scar tissue of where it took it away at. She said, we see nothing. And she was like, you're lucky, because less than 25% of people. That's what she said. Lucky. She said, you're lucky.
You were blessed.
Blessed. That's what I told her. I said, I'm blessed, and God healed me.
Yeah.
You know, and so that was pretty much.
So you didn't have to have like reconstructive surgery or anything like that, because
I did. I wound up having a double mastectomy.
Okay, you decided that on your own. Did they require that, or that was your
They didn't
decision?
require it. That was my decision.
Okay.
And I decided to have that to reduce the risk of it coming back.
Right.
So I did. Mm-hmm.
So do you think that it was this medicine that the doctor was trying on you that worked in Japan that he told you about, that could have took care of this, you know, as far as they're concerned? I know, you know, God, you know, give miracles and stuff, and that's probably more than likely what it was, but he provided this drug for you. So you can have this miracle, because if he never tried it on anybody else, and I'm sure he's been doing this for years. And so they're saying that worked.
That drug worked.
And even him having the knowledge of it was even
a blessing.
Now that you think about everything in a whole, it's like it was nobody but God.
Nobody but God.
You know, and you had to, and you know, that's why I often tell God, like, look, you don't got to carry me through a type of storm like that. Just you know, I know I'm hard headed. I know I am, but you don't have to do nothing drastic,
to get your attention.
To get my attention. I'm here. So I think that was all part of the plan for you. And like you said, go back to like you coming to the forefront, bringing everything out, and like you're a new person. Like I watch and I see you, you know, you're going to different places and you speaking and stuff. Because I've been knowing you for years. Like y'all family always been in church, you know. So it's like to see you out now, it's like it's different. Like if anybody knows you, really know you, then they'll know that you're no longer who you were. Like a lot of you has changed.
It has.
Which in a good way.
Yes.
You know, it's actually in a good way. But I just think, like, you know, and I did watch your story that you had did, your video, and I was like, oh, that's why she didn't come back on the podcast for the
yes, you had, when you, because you provided us back out. What was it for?
It was I can't think of the
follow up of the wedding,
the marriage. I can't think what month it was.
January. It was like going into February.
Probably was.
Okay, and you was going through everything then.
I was going through my tests and everything then. Yeah. And my husband, even when you reached out to my husband, like, so we ain't going. I'm like, boy, I'm stressed out. I lost all this weight. I got beds under my eyes. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
But
just look who you are now. Like with everything that has happened, right? Do you see from how far you came?
I do. I have more of a yes in me now versus my no. You know, when people ask me to do something, I'm more willing to say yes versus no, because like you said, sometimes God will allow things to push you out of that comfort zone. So if you want me to do it, God, I'll do it willingly. You don't got to force me no more.
That's right. So you always used to say no.
I'm shy, you know. So I'm like, I'm good. But my husband's more outgoing, like, I'm like,
I, you know, and now that, you know, sit and look at from what I do see, it's like you have the perfect husband far as, you know, encouraging you, because when you're going through something like that, you need an encourager.
You do.
When you feel weak and, you know, you can't, because sometimes people be like, you know, lean on God. Yes, that's true. But sometimes you need that physical being to say, hey, keep going.
Yeah, you do.
You know, even if he go in the shower and break down, he's still telling, you know, he's still encouraging you
to keep going. You're so right. Sometimes you need that physical being there to keep encouraging us. You know, God, I love him, and you know, God is a great encourager, but you know, he put people in the earth to encourage us also. And so I used him up. I know I did. It was like, you got to get it together.
Yeah.
I eventually got it together.
So when you got it together, like at what point did you tell your kids?
I told my kids when it was complete, when I got the test that I was cancer free.
And what did the kids say?
They broke down crying. They couldn't believe.
How old are your kids?
My oldest is 20. That's my son.
Okay.
And then I have a 15-year-old. I have a 14-year-old and an 11-year-old.
Okay.
And my kids broke down crying. My son, he was upset. He was upset that I didn't say, because he's the oldest, he's 20.
Right.
But he was like, you mean to tell me you've been going through this, but yet you still been taking care of us, doing all you do every day? But that's how I got through, because I got wrapped up into my kids. I had no time to focus on me. I had no choice but to keep going. Like, when I say I wouldn't sit down, get up in the morning and come at home at night, I kept pushing, because I didn't want to focus on what I was going through.
Right.
Okay.
And
So how long did you have to go through the treatment and stuff?
I did 4 rounds of chemo. And so my 4 rounds was one every 3 weeks. So it was like maybe 3 months.
Well, every 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then that's when they came back and did the ultrasound and said it looks clear. And they still gave you the maintenance.
I had the double mastectomy. I had 2 surgeries. Yeah, I had the spots removed. Then they came in and did the double mastectomy, and I had the implants all done at one time. So
they did all that at one time. So your treatment, everything from beginning to end, was about what, roughly how many months? Was it a whole year?
It wasn't even a whole year. I went from it started from January up until, including the surgery, September.
Oh, okay. Well, that was still 9 months, probably too long for you, but for some, when you look at the overall, it's like, okay, well, you know,
it wasn't as long and drawn out as what they were saying.
Right.
You know, they gave me this long plan that was drawn out, you know.
Because of course they only can give you what medically
what they think,
you know, what's in the books, but is, you know, is ultimately is up to God, and he showed himself through you. Like, so how did, when you told your mom, like, how did she feel, your mom and your dad, them just losing a child not too long ago?
Well, my mom, she took it pretty good. I think as long as I was able to show that I was good, she was good, because I wouldn't break down in front of her. I'll go home and break down with my husband, but she never saw me cry. She never saw me look stressed out. I put my face on when I came before her, because she had just lost my sister. You know?
This was how long after you had lost your sister?
Not even 2 years. And you know, to be honest, I was going through the symptoms of it while my sister was here.
What symptoms? Yeah, so I could ask you.
You know, a lot of people think that the symptoms are your breast is hurting. Mine wasn't. I was having pain in the top part of my neck, and it radiated around the top part of my shoulders. And so I did go in to get a mammogram done. They said, well, we thought we saw something on it. So I went back and got a ultrasound. And it was like, well, we don't really see anything. And so I was like, but I'm still hurting. You know how you kind of feel like something's still off? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. So I went back and got another mammogram before my year was up.
Okay.
And they said, well, we still don't see nothing. And so I'm like, okay. So I started taking Tylenol, which took my symptoms away. That's another thing. When something's persistent, don't medicate it away.
Okay.
You know, that's what I did. I medicated it away. And my lumps, you couldn't feel them by hand. It was nothing you could feel in my breast. And so my doctor, he was like, well, he was so shocked, you know. Yeah, he was so shocked as to, you know, by me being so young, like, how did you get in here to this point, you know? And I'm like, I was my own advocate. He was like, you may have just been your own lifesaver, because 40 years old, by the way, it's how I was 40, I probably won't be here, you know? I started at 35.
Wow.
And I started getting it every year, not every 2 years like they suggested, because of the risk that runs in my family.
See, and I do too. I've been getting mine every year since I was like 26, 27.
Okay. And that's what I had to start with my daughters. I probably started with them at age of 20. I mean, being a carrier.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Or then, like you said, you was in the doctor's office when someone's 16, so you might want to start before early, 20.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. Early, you know, so how important is early detection that you would tell people?
Oh, it's very important. I think why the numbers are so high with the death rate is because of lack of knowledge. You know, when it came down to breast cancer, even though it was so high in my family, nobody actually sat us down and talked to us really about getting your mammograms done. doing your self checks at home and early detection.
Right.
Nobody did that. And so after I found out when I was in stage, I was going into stage 2, I guess I would probably say. They kept giving me different stages. So I think I'm probably going to stage 2 when they was feeling far the lump. But once they actually went in to actually give what stage you probably would have been in for within the lymph nodes, probably been something else. But yes, after I got through with all my tests and stuff, I actually sat down all the women in my family, the girls, and I had the conversation with them about making sure you get in your mammograms. We starting now, and about the risk and about the options that you have if you are a gene carrier, because it's options that you have.
How did they feel about that conversation?
They were scared. You're scared.
Sure.
And as far as getting tested for the gene, it's like, well, you don't know to get tested or not, because do you worry about it if you do have the gene? It doesn't mean that you will get it, just a higher risk that you may get it.
Right. And I think you did good though for your family. Like you actually changed it, because a lot of us, as far as African Americans, we don't sit down and talk about stuff like that. And that's the sad part, because I too have family members who have had all types of breast cancer. Breast cancer. They had breast cancer, uterine, cervical. So cancer just runs rapid.
Right.
So for you to sit your cousins and whoever down and talk to them and tell them, yes, it may have scared them, because it scared me sitting beside you and we talking about it, right?
Right.
But at least, you gave them the information so that they can go and get checked out early.
Right.
So that they don't do anything about it.
Right. And the way I said, it's better to get in front of it than behind it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
That's true.
If something was to go on, at least early versus knowing too late. It's a bad thing to know when you have no options left.
Right.
And that was my sister. She found out too late.
Yeah,
really?
That threw me.
So she didn't find out as soon as early.
My sister found out when she was in stage 4. She passed within 3 weeks of finding out.
Ooh, see, that's what I'm talking about.
And her symptoms was also her back. She had no symptoms of your breast hurting. Her back was aching. Hers went so fast, people thought that she knew. She didn't know.
Right.
She thought her back was hurting because she go to work and she lifting it and she thinking.
Okay.
And it was breast cancer.
It was breast cancer. Wow.
Oh, but has she ever had a mammogram before? That you know of?
She years ago, because she used to get like the little what you call fibroid tumors when she was younger, probably like 16. She had like those removed at an early age, and so she wasn't getting them like in her 30s, and still waiting till 40. When they say come back and get them,
right?
And so she didn't.
So when you're going out and you're talking to now you're doing a lot of speaking engagements, and which I'm sure it's going to be even more now that people know that you're outside, right? What are you telling these people about your experience to try to make them grab hold of what you've experienced, so that hopefully they can use you, so they won't have to go through it, like far as go and get checked and stuff like that.
Right. Well, I tell them to basically just make sure you're go get your mammograms done. Don't wait. Be your own best advocate for your own self. Go get them done every year. And if your family has a history of it, if somebody is a gene carrier, what can happen is you can get an MRI done 1 year where they can catch it at the wall before it gets to the breast. They'll rotate that with a mammogram every other year, So I just try to encourage them to stay on top of it. But, also that if cancer do come, know that God is able. Is there's hope. Don't feel like you have no hope.
Yeah, I'm sitting here like, I you know what? I'm telling you, a mind is a terrible thing.
Are you feeling?
I am. And when I tell you, a mind is a terrible thing.
What is she doing?
She over there feeling.
It was like when we had an episode last year, right? And we had 2 ladies on. And when I tell you, I cancel my going to get checked, like my mammogram, like 3 or 4 times. I was so nervous. I was just like, Lord, they're gonna tell me. They're gonna tell me. And see, my mind is kind of wired a little different from everybody else, right? It's just like you say it's raining, oh, it's raining. And I'm walking right outside and it's dry. So you just gotta be careful sometimes,
You
But
do.
it now that you've had your bout, right, and you're pretty much on the other end.
Mm-hmm.
What are they saying now for you? Like, what is the treatment plan now?
Well, I'm on hormone, some type
Therapy.
of hormone therapy pill. I'll be on that. They said for 5 years, but I could stay on it for 10 years if I choose to, and that's to reduce the chances of it coming back.
Okay.
And so that's what I'm doing now. And of course, I go to the doctor every 3 months to get blood work done. Eventually, hopefully, be every 6, then every once a year. But
So, are you nervous when you go?
I am extremely nervous, but at the end of the day, I still just got to trust God.
Yeah.
So you've been doing every 3 months for a year now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
For a year. Yeah.
Okay, but they haven't decided when they're gonna change it to like 6 months or 1 year.
She said they'll be watching me closely for a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it's working.
Yeah.
Like I said, so you have a success story of your, you going through your trial, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that medicine, was there any type of side effect with it?
Oh yes. I mean, tired, no appetite. It was a lot of side effects to it. Some days could barely wanted to get out of bed, could barely get out of bed, but I still would force myself. I probably would take 1 or 2 days down after the chemo, and after that, I got to get up and keep going. My mindset always has been, I don't care what life come with, I got to keep going.
Yeah.
I never stop, because when you stop, that's when I feel like the enemy think he got you, and I refuse
And
to.
that's true.
So I keep going.
That's true. So with your chemo though, was it like a couple of hours? You had to go through the chemo process for a couple of hours?
I think I was in the office probably about 4 or 5 hours.
4 or 5 hours. Did you have to take any home?
No.
Okay,
Just in the office.
And see, that was a good thing because most people don't catch it at an early stage.
Right.
Or, by you going every year doing your mammograms.
Right.
So therefore, but you said they said it was aggressive, but you was feeling something right during the time your sister was going through.
Right.
Which
but
was
they
almost
wasn't
a
able to
year,
pick
2
it up.
years. Yeah.
Right. And even then on the mammogram, he was still kind of like, they don't even know how they was able to see it on the mammogram because the way it was positioned and it was in the tissue, He was,
it was like hiding.
And so my sister, I believe, was just starting out. I was getting the symptoms, but they wouldn't be able to see it because they could barely really see it on the mammogram when they did see it.
Right.
So,
but that was a good thing you listened to your body though, because a lot of times when we do are hurting or feels a type of way, we'd be like, "Well, I know me. Oh, let me take something. I'm gonna pop a pill,
right,
quick,
right."
Yeah, and I'm different, but I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, like
wait,
she'll
something ain't right.
Yeah, she
Let me get up on my app and call me, schedule me an appointment.
Right.
Let me do a virtual appointment. They're talking to the lady. I'm riding down the street with her propped up, talking to the doctor. And she's like, "Are you driving?" But keep going with this appointment. No, we ain't canceling. No, keep going. She's like, "Where is that right now?" It's over here. It's right here. It's
yeah.
Yeah, but that's a good thing. Like I said, that you listen to your body. Now, what would you say to someone who may have traveled or about to travel down the road that you've been down, but they're like, you know what? I don't want to do chemo. I don't want to do radiation.
Well, if that's your mindset, I mean, I don't know. You can back. What's your plan gonna be? I mean, you can do. I know. In the beginning, they was talking about that chemo. I was very scared of chemo because of everything that I heard. All the side effects and stuff. My husband like, well, we can just do something natural. You want to look into the natural? I'm like,
holistic, yeah.
And some people, because like people that do the holistic regimens, it seems like it might slow it down a little bit, but I haven't heard of anyone where it actually worked out.
Right.
I mean, I don't know what statistics say, but
I'm not even sure.
I'm not even sure.
I didn't even look it up. What I can say though, when I was doing chemo, I was fasting. I had stopped eating meat. I was just doing fruits and vegetables, so that may have played a part with the chemo. Because it was the beginning of the year. You do the Daniel fast, so I was just happy to be on the fast.
So everything's
And so-
just working out for you.
Yeah, so I was fed. So I don't know if that helped,
Yeah.
with the chemo in my body. I don't know, but I
You start
was
eating better and
I
stuff.
was
yeah.
eating better, and the doctor did tell me to stop. My surgeon, she did tell me to stop eating dairy and meats that have like steroids in it, like hormone, like estrogen and stuff. Get
That's a
hormone
lot of that
free.
now.
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah.
Different things
Even
like that.
sometimes the ones that says organic, you're like, that's a big
but
organic chicken.
it sure do.
That
Yep.
chicken organically fed.
Yep.
Not organically, right? But it's good that, like, for real, like, and I don't want nobody, when they see this episode, think we're making light of anything. It's just
Mm-mm.
that.
No, but sometimes you do
With
have to
anything,
kind of
like,
You got to keep it
laugh.
alive.
Yeah, you
of
gotta
course.
laugh to keep from crying because to make it.
I'm not
Right.
even saying keep from crying at this point because it's no crying. Like the crying days are
They gone.
are over.
Yeah.
Are over.
Gone.
Like we're in. This is about life. We're
Right.
enjoying life, and we're just living.
Right.
You know what I'm
Living.
saying?
That's it.
And that's especially like now the way these days and months are going by so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know it. Your teenagers they'll be your son's age 20.
Right. Yep.
That's
You know, and you be looking back and you be like, I remember when, and from where you came. So what's going on with you now?
As far as
Just
Just
you in
you,
general. Yeah.
Your new you.
well, I'm just trying to live life now. I think after you go through something like that,
Mm-hmm.
your eyes are kind of open to just enjoying life. Enjoying the little things that you really didn't enjoy if you didn't stop to enjoy at first.
Mhm.
And so back working, back traveling. I
Yeah.
love to travel now. I'm gonna travel as much as I can because
That's right.
going through it, I was like, Lord's a lot. I didn't get to do that I want to do. I know you're gonna take me there, Lord.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm just enjoying life, enjoying people.
Yeah,
that's in
you're a
my
new
life.
homeowner.
New homeowner. Thank God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, see, like, yeah,
Yeah.
your mission is definitely isn't over. Like it's just beginning.
It's just beginning.
It's just beginning. So,
Mhm.
and we're excited to see all of what you're gonna be doing. I'm just sitting here like for real. I'm sitting here like how I do with Miss Go Getter, like a proud parent. Like because it's like you're so quiet.
I am.
Like I even watched you. I came. You were speaking at a church, and I came to support you, and I watched you, and I was like, her mannerism just so, like, just chill. Like, basically, got like push it, push it out there. Like, hey, go ahead, baby, go ahead.
Yeah.
But once you out there, you know how to conduct yourself. You know how to hold your own. So before we go, tell us something about you that people wouldn't know.
Something people wouldn't.
Besides you shy.
I guess something that people would know that.
Take your time.
Let me think, y'all. Well, I love to sing.
Okay.
I can't really sing.
Oh,
I
that's
have a
what
whole
I was
little
trying
note,
to
though.
ask. Can you
I have
sing?
a whole little note.
We'll take that. You
That's it.
you can sing. You can't sing
Yeah.
like me, but you can sing.
Yeah,
really,
I
right?
get a little note.
A little
Give you a
note.
little something
I'm with you.
in the background.
I'm with you. So, breast cancer doesn't define who Ebony is.
Right.
So, who is Ebony outside of that little? white
Outside
boy?
of that, Ebony is just a person that loves people.
Mhm.
I'm a go-getter.
Mhm.
I love to. I'm the wife, the mother, the church girl. I'm just Ebony. Yeah,
Ebony.
I'm just Ebony. There was just a little bump in the road, but I'm just still
that's
Ebony.
it. That's
Yeah.
it. That's
You're a
it.
survivor.
Survivor. Yes.
That's a big word right there. That's a heavy
Yes.
word.
Yes.
Very heavy word because it could have been another way, but God saw fit.
God saw fit to be another.
Yeah, that's it. Absolutely. So,
So
with
what
that,
would you say to those? Did you ask her this scam?
no,
I
go
don't think
ahead,
so.
'cause I know you
What would
ready
you
to answer.
say to those that's still going through?
Good.
That's still going through. You went through your bump, but they're still at the top of their mountain. They haven't came down yet.
I say just first of all, seek God. You got to build your faith up, get to a place wherein it's you and him, when on this road, as much as people encourage you, people really can't do anything for you. It's a journey with you and God, and keep going. And stay off Google. One thing I didn't do was Google. Stay off of Google. Don't compare your journey to somebody else's journey. I couldn't even compare my journey to my sisters or my cousins or my grandmother. This was my journey, and I had to keep my eyes on the fact of where I want God to get me to. Don't Google nothing though, because Google.
That's true.
You be writing stuff on yourself, and before you know it, you feeling it.
And then that right there was a word, because I know some people that Google everything. You too, Gail. You know somebody? But anyway, I don't do that either. I'm like, no, I'm not Googling nothing. No, because Google going to tell you. To me, I look at it like Google going to tell you what you really want to hear or don't really want to hear, but it's going to tell you something that have you thinking, well, Lord, I get that. You be Googling something. You be like, no, they gonna wear you don't hear that. But all of a sudden, you be like, yeah, I remember that time. My finger was hurting like that. And I went to pick up something and my fingers did bend like that. Yeah. Then you have whatever that is. Yeah. So I just don't, because I'm like, no, I really don't have that pain. But my mind told me that I had that pain yesterday, knowing goodness well. Right. I didn't bit more of that pain yesterday. Right. And before you know, you feeling it.
Yep, that's it. That's true. I Google stuff and everything.
Because I saw you that feeling your chest, so I already know you.
Yeah, she got you feeling. Oh, you was doing it feeling. She trying to get herself her own memory.
Yeah, because and then back to Google, right? When you Google it, tell you how to, like on YouTube, tell you how to, check yourself, whatever. And then I be trying to make sure I'm positioning it right. It's like, yo, this is too much. I can't.
Right. Instead of just making you an appointment.
Yeah, right. That's true. That's true. That's absolutely true. Well, like I said, I have enjoyed my time. And before we go, we always ask our guests who sit in the hot box, you're no different, how their time has been since they've been on Wait Again Minute podcast.
Oh, I have enjoyed every minute of it. And I thank y'all for y'all hospitality. This was nice and it was dope.
Yes. She's saying dope. Okay. Yeah, definitely. Miss Go Get it. Any last words from you?
No last word. Oh, I do want to say something. It has nothing to do with this, but I do want to shout out one of our sponsors. I really want to shout her out. That's J and L Reynolds.
Definitely. Yeah.
Want to shout her out. Y'all make sure y'all go follow her on Instagram and Facebook for all your event needs and Reynolds. Yeah,
definitely. It. Especially if you're local. If you're local, she does baby showers, weddings.
She do all your events.
Everything that you need. When I tell you, she lays it out. You let her know what you want, and she comes through every time. And it's like, oh my God, she's dope. She is. And I think her personality and her heart, is beyond dope. Yeah, her heart. She has a heart of gold. Yep. So, we definitely want to shout out J&L Rentals for their sponsorship. I was going to put that in there, Miss Go Get Up.
Yeah, but I just wanted to go ahead on the set anyway.
Okay. And also, we got to give a shout out to our production assistant, Miss Ida. She is 41 today.
Woo! Happy birthday.
Yeah, she's actually the baby. 50 Cent over there to my far right. Then it's me. Then it's Ida.
I just look the youngest. That's all.
She wish. Anyway, with that being said, we're going to get on out of here. And like always, stay tuned to everything. Wait Again a Minute.
Good night.